their overall defensive scheme, and he wants to see energy and execution on that side of the court.
I chatted quickly with Marianne Stanley, assistant coach as well, prior to the game, and she said that Chicago, they've been playing well as of late. And quite simply, they came out early and they punched first, and we just got caught trying to respond, as we know that game ended in a loss, so they're going to try and bounce back this afternoon.
Well, Washington did a good job scoring in Chicago. They had 30 points in the second quarter alone, but it was their defense that was not up to par and up to standards.
Deladon, pull-up jumper. That rattles through for the first one of the ball game.
And that's what Washington can do. They want to spread you out. They want you to decide on whether you're going to help or double team. And when that happens, they can take advantage from all 5 positions on the floor.
Here's Nurse for 3. Can't answer. Powers with the rebound. She's in the starting lineup as Christy Tolliver is missing this afternoon's game, out still with that knee contusion. She's missed the last 6. Sanders inside, gets that to roll.
Fantastic 2-player game there. And a great pass, and that's what you do. When you cut hard off of pick-and-roll situations, you can find an avenue to the rim. That's just what Sanders did right in front of the basket.
The kick to Zowie. She's down low, got caught up. Atkins comes up with the steal in the turnover. It'll be Mystics basketball. As you see head coach Mike Tebow at the helm, he's enjoyed this new home court advantage, as he says here at ESA.
Yeah, the home court definitely a good thing for the Washington Mystics. They're 10-3 here at home.
Tina Charles knocks it down. So originally it was Mystics basketball, but they overturned it. Charles puts the Liberty on the board.
And Charles had 27 points in their last matchup. Elena Deladon had 13.
Powers almost banks that in, gets her own rebound from Charles. Puts it up and in.
I tell you what. Powers is a monster in terms of her mentality. She never quits on a play. That was just toughness.
Nurse comes right back with an answer from down range.
Gia Nurse in her second season, the 10th pick overall last year out of UConn, has just been amazing for New York.
Elena Deladon answers back. Mystics with a 3-point lead.
Deladon is such a force. 6 times she has won Player of the Week award this year. She was voted by the general managers on the preseason survey as the MVP for this season.
Loose ball controlled by Zowie B. Here's right. Hartley. Atkins came up with the loose ball. Off the screen. Deladon, quick turn. Doesn't get the bounce. Sanders trying to fight for it. Up the floor, tipped. Nurse controls for the Liberty.
They're trying to isolate Elena Deladon. The double team came from the middle. She went to the baseline and she gets that block.
Great save from Atkins after that block. Up the floor, Powers. A little in and out, tripped up, lost the handle. She wanted the call. Up the floor, Nurse in transition. Got that strip by Sanders, and then a whistle and a foul on Atkins. But the fans like the defensive intensity, already different from Chicago.
Yeah, you got to hustle. And defensive transition, we said, would be on the top of the list in terms of keys for the Mystics. And right here, Deladon playing that great defense, great timing and anticipation, getting that clean block. Let's check out that last play. Transition. New York wants to manufacture some easy offense. And right there, Atkins had to stick her hand in the cookie jar and foul on that one.
1 for 1 at the free throw line. 2-point lead for the Mystics. Cloud working with Deladon. Powers off the pump fake. And a defensive 3 seconds.
Defensive 3-second violation on the Liberty. Technical foul.
So Deladon will shoot the free throw off the technical.
Megan, it's like poetry in motion when you see Elena Deladon step up to the free throw line. Her father worked with her in terms of getting the free throw, in terms of the mechanics of it, similar to a golf swing. You want to take out all the extra movements in it, and she has really mastered that.
To the corner, Powers. That's short. Sanders back taps at Powers. Can she keep it alive? She does. Deladon controls, reset to 14, but they've got 9. Cloud attacks. And the turnover. Right to Hartley off the pump fake. Got Deladon. Powers with the rebound. A quick up and down tempo right there.
Well, Hartley's been playing very well, coming off of a 17-point performance on Friday against Atlanta. She has just been a viable piece.
Powers. Hartley with the rebound. Nurse. They go inside to Charles. Sanders. Got her in the air off the pump fake. Tina Charles still knocks it down.
Methodical. You think you have her, you think you're going to contest the shot or disrupt it, and Tina Charles just stays steady as you go.
Powers comes back to Sanders. Going at Zowie B. Spins. Hang.
I like the offensive aggression early on from Latoya Sanders, usually the stalwart on the defensive end.
Charles. Sanders, she gambled, but there was no help.
Yeah, she came on that baseline side, and when you gamble and give the basket side away, that defense really has to be on time.
Wow, off the pull-up. Inside to Charles. Turns. Doesn't get the bounce this time. Powers controls the glass.
And that's one thing that Aerial Powers brings to the table. Her prowess on the glass. On both sides.
Sorry, Christy. And a timeout on the floor. The Mystics with a 3-point lead here early on first quarter.
Well, we're used to seeing Latoya Sanders play some dogged defense on the defensive side of things, but on offense, she is just as productive for the Mystics.
Welcome back. The Mystics on top 13-10. One notable name that will not be playing in today's game, Christy Tolliver. She's missing her 6th consecutive game after suffering a right knee contusion in a win against Indiana earlier this month. And I had a chance to speak to head coach and general manager Mike Tebow before today's game about an update on her injury timetable. And right now, he said there is no concrete timeline for when she will return. He's coaching under the assumption that Tolliver will not play in the near future. She could return in a week, 2 weeks, or potentially even later. For now, she'll continue to rehab. And the Mystics, they've done pretty well in her absence, guys. Even after that loss against Chicago, they've won 10 of their last 12 games. Megan, back to you.
Thanks, Dan. And as much as the Mystics lineup misses Christy Tolliver, she does still coach from the bench. And you can see from this angle, she's got that knee brace on the knee, which we haven't seen lately. But I don't know if you would agree with this, Christy. I don't mind holding her out as long as possible. I would rather have her fresh for the playoffs than 50% right now.
Well, she's such a consummate leader, whether she's on the court or on the sidelines. And unfortunately, she has been injured the last 6 games, but they've signed Shea Petty for her second 7-day contract, and they will probably do another one as Christy Tolliver continues to recover. And you have to be smart. You have to listen to your body and not always listen to your mind. As an athlete, that's a tough line to draw. And for Christy Tolliver, she's an assistant coach with the Washington Wizards with Scott Brooks and his crew, and one of 9 females on NBA staff this season as an offensive foul was called.
Zowie B will pick that up. It's still early on, but this is the biggest lead that the Mystics have had. And you already, through the first 6 minutes or so, have seen a more intense defensive energy than what we saw on Friday.
Well, I think you've seen more intentional offense and some continuity on that side. Coach Tebow said he didn't like that they were turning the ball over in Chicago on Friday as well. So a couple things have changed for sure.
A whistle and a foul. Zowie B, that's 2 quick ones here early on.
And right here, you see Powers getting right into that elbow area, and Zowie B was trying to get her hand up, but while she was putting her hand up, she made contact with Powers as an airborne shooter. Or an airborne passer.
Rashonda Gray, Brittany Boyd check in, and Maureen Johannes as well. Powers, pull-up jumper. Doesn't go. Deladon offensive board as that bounces in.
Just the ability to have great timing on that. She didn't have great positioning for that offensive board, but the timing is how Elena Deladon got both hands on that basketball and was able to put it back up for 2.
Charles, hand in the face. Defensively, you don't always have to block the shot, but you can alter it.
Yeah, you have to disrupt it. You have to get in the way of Tina Charles. The same thing for Elena Deladon. They were MVPs in this league for a reason, respectively. And you see Deladon just a magnet to the basketball there on the offensive boards, finding a way. You can't be complacent on the offensive end when the shot goes up. You can't be a ball watcher.
Emma Mieseman checks in. Latoya Sanders checks out. Nio Raincock-Kunwe checks in for the Liberty.
Well, this is a lineup that Mike Thibault said prior to the game that could be a little disruptive defensively. Raincock-Kunwe in there, as well as Gray, bring some physicality to the floor for New York.
Powers, Mieseman, got it.
Well, the first time, Megan, these two teams played back on June 7th, Emma Mieseman was not in the United States. She was overseas playing with the Belgium national team for Eurobasket competition. So another piece to the puzzle for Washington. But they did have Christy Tolliver in that game.
Off the turnover, this is a 9-0 run for the Mystics. Deladon attacks, pull-up jumper high off the glass, too strong.
Okay.
Here's Nurse. Works with Raincock-Kunwe. Nurse attacking. The scoop layup goes for Kia Nurse.
And Kia Nurse has been a staying force for New York. In only her second year, she played professionally in Australia.
Powers on the attack, goes right at Nurse.
I just love the aggression that Aerial Powers has brought to the floor. And I think her role has been different as a starter. She knows that they're depending upon her to score the ball. She has the ability to do it, and she is doing it well.
It entered the starting lineup, as we heard from Dan, when Tolliver went down. Mieseman, way too much room, no problem.
Sitting at the dock of the bay, knocking in threes is Emma Mieseman once again.
Whether she's at the end of the bench or checking into the game, Shatori Walker-Kimbrough continues with the celebrations.
Shatori Walker-Kimbrough is over here firing arrows into the sky. Emma Mieseman knocking in her second 3 of the afternoon for the Washington Mystics. Right here, late recovery by Gray. Couldn't get a hand up in time to disrupt that shot by Mieseman, who has found her rhythm from outside.
And that's something, Christy, that Coach Thibault wanted to see more from her aggression on the offensive end. He joked, we said it a couple games ago, are we going to get the passing Emma, or are we going to get the shooting Emma? And I like this Emma because she's so far early on is emptying the clip with no shame at all.
Yeah, I think if you made 2 lines, do you like the let it fly Emma or the not let it fly Emma? You're going to get in the let it fly line. And, for Emma Mieseman, if you are efficient, you can knock in shots. I mean, shooting high 40% from the three-point line. Who wouldn't shoot that? You're not shooting 20%. You're shooting almost 50% from 3. You got to let it go. And Emma Mieseman, I love when she's deliberate like that with the basketball and taking the open shots and not hesitating with the reads that she's making.
Another guy who knows how to let it fly for the Washington Wizards, Bradley Beal and Little Deuce.
Little Deuce and Kamayo, who is expecting their second son any day now in the next couple of weeks. So the Beal family, and Bradley's brother is sitting right next to him, and DC family in full effect.
Mieseman, second in the league in field goal percentage. After the timeout, here's Nurse working with Gray, she'll take it herself, does not go. Powers with the rebound. Powers goes right at Nurse. Doesn't get the layup, but she is fouled, so Ariel Powers will go to the free throw line.
Washington so far doing a terrific job on the glass, and that was something that they did not do well the last time these two teams played. We take a look right here at Powers taking the bump from Kia Nurse. She'll head to the line, but right now it's a 12-5 advantage on the glass for the Mystics.
You mentioned it with Ariel Powers in the starting lineup since Tolliver went down. It's not always easy for players who come off the bench because they're used to seeing how the game flows, but it's almost as if she has not missed a beat and stepped her game up more than expected, knowing that she has to be that added benefit.
Well, that's what she did in her career at Michigan State. Susie Merchant was her coach there, and she was in Chicago on Friday to cheer Ariel Powers on, and she was just that player. The ball went through her on every single play, whether she shot it or not. It was going to be a good offensive decision, and that's what she knows how to do.
On the kick, Johannes. She lets it fly, doesn't go. Powers and Deladon were fighting for the rebound, and Powers took a shot on that as she's down. Coach Tebow immediately takes a timeout. And Powers is shaken up as head trainer Shalisa Fonza gets out to her.
I think she just got poked in the eye, is what she's saying. And I think she was trying to say that I'm fine. Yeah. But if you've ever been poked in the eye like that, oh, that takes a minute to recover. You see Powers making her way inside, and she and Deladon got tangled up, but it was Gray, I think, whose finger
came up,
got right into her eye area right there. The right hand of Gray went right into the face of Powers, and that's a stinger. That left eye.
Up on her feet. Walking off. You can see her talking to Shalisa there.
Well, if you know anything about Ariel Powers, if she can be on the floor, she's going to be on the floor. So they're going to take her to the back and check out that left eye.
If she can see, I think she'll be back.
And if she can't, she's going to be back. I think she's just that kind of player.
You remember when Steve Nash took that clothesline, had the broken nose, and both eyes were swollen and was still playing?
Hey, same kind of mentality.
Mystics last 4 minutes on a 16-2 run. So Tiana Hawkins comes in for Powers. So a little bit of a bigger lineup with Cloud and Walker Kimbrough. Miesemann going at Rain Cocker-Kunwe. High off the glass. I like this Emma Miesemann so far.
Listen, Emma Miesemann, when she is aggressive and makes a decision to be a scorer, she is extremely impactful for the Mystics.
Got a piece of that one, but Rain Cocker-Kunwe controls, misses that, gets her own rebound. On the kick, Allen, the step back, knocks it down.
Allen had a magnificent game the last time these two teams met in third quarter. She was 3 of 5 in that game from 3. She can let it fly and knock it in as well for New York.
Deladon turns, hangs in the air, rims in and out, attacks her own rebound on the ground. No jump ball called, and then a travel call. This is probably the most aggressive I've seen Deladon on the offensive glass.
Well, I think the entire Mystics team, they know how invaluable it is to get to the boards. She follows her shot. She knew where it was coming off, and Gray right there getting on the ground with Deladon. Glad she had that mask on because it was a physical play down in there.
The hook from Miesemann rattles in and out. Under 30 seconds to go now in this opening quarter. Boyd trying to use as much of the clock as possible. She's got it down to 8 and goes, and they're going to get an offensive foul, I believe, on Gray.
Gray was trying to set that high ball screen. It was a little extracurricular with her body contact right here on Shatori Walker-Kimbrough as she slid back a little bit. Saw that right shoulder go back. Miesemann was like, hey, I wasn't involved in that. He saw her face like that wasn't me.
6 seconds. 4 seconds. Miesemann at the end of the quarter got that to go. 1.2 left for the Liberty. And the Mystics end the quarter on a 20-4 run after 1.
Washington in full command of this game because they have been sharing the basketball, putting the basketball in the hands of players who can knock it in their sweet spots. Pick and roll, impactful. On the offensive end has been Emma Miesemann as well from range. 2 threes for her in the first quarter. Emma Miesemann has just been terrific for the Washington Mystics. She's 4 of 5 from the floor, being deliberate, taking it to the basket. 2 of 2 from 3 for 10 points. And Washington right now, Megan, they have a 16-4 advantage in paint points. And I think that speaks volumes to the attack mentality that the Mystics have brought to the table here at home.
Miesemann will start this second quarter as Ariel Atkins returns. Shea Petty checks in for her first minutes of this afternoon's ball game.
Shea Petty in the midst of her second 7-day contract with the Mystics because of the injury to Christy Tolliver, as we said earlier.
Hartley and Charles also back into the game for the Liberty. Allen with the pull-up jumper. She knocks it down.
And you've got to really scoot quickly over top of any screening action coming Rebecca Allen's way. She is really quick with her release on her threes.
Walker Kimbrough off the mark. Petty trying to fight for the rebound. She kept it alive just enough for Allen to have to go out of bounds.
And Katie Smith told me before the game that Rebecca Allen, her versatility and length is really something that she relies heavily upon. They like to get her the basketball on specific reads. She said she's a lot like Deladon, a little bit smaller, not a lot of post play from her, but in terms of her release on the perimeter and what she can do from the outside is very similar to Deladon in that regard.
Hartley, the reverse layup, bounces around and falls.
Now, Bria Hartley, she spent 2 seasons here in a Washington Mystics uniform, 2014 to 2016, and she's back home in New York, where she's from, playing with the Libs.
Atkins well off the mark on that. Here's Hartley back the other way for the Liberty. Atkins got a piece of that, but it goes out of bounds. Last touched by her, so it'll stay with the Liberty.
We'll just watch the read here offensively for New York. Just a acrobatic make there by Hartley.
Off the miss, loose ball controlled by Gray. Charles to right. 10 on the shot clock. Inside. Charles. She has that high release just like Deladon.
Yeah, and it's tough to cover that. I mean, you can get a hand in the face if you want to, but even at your highest jump, she seems to still be in the air to get a clean release on that turnaround jumper.
Hawkins, you got to step out on Tiana Hawkins because she can knock it down.
Yeah, her new name is Threeana. Threeana Hawkins. Another 3 for the Mystics. And, you know, Dan Nolan was discussing the 18 threes the last time this team was here at home. And, you know, just the confidence that each player has in the ability of this entire team to score from 3 is palpable. They want to get those shots up. They make 9 per game to lead the league.
Petty poked that from behind. Mystics 13 bench points already in this first half.
Well, that's the bench mob, and you know, Washington also leads the WNBA in bench points. The Indiana Fever a close second, but you know, the versatility and depth of this team is like nothing Mike Thibault has seen.
Hartley, that's short. Petty with the rebound. Miesemann. Atkins kicks it off the bounce. Hawkins off the mark. Wright tries to drop it in, but it's too far ahead, and that's the 5th turnover for the Liberty.
Well, that's something that New York has done a better job of taking good care of the basketball. They had 13 turnovers 2 games ago and 12 in their last contest. They averaged 16, though.
Hawkins checks the clock. Petty with the backdoor cut and the layup, and that was set up by Deanna Hawkins, playing a little point forward.
Yeah, you got to connect the dots. Take hard, purposeful cuts off the ball, and great things happen.
Hawkins trying to take the charge there. No whistle. Hartley. She knocks it down. 14-point lead for the Mystics. And a whistle and a foul. It's going to be on Bria Hartley. Attack, has it blocked by Allen. Contact on the body, no call. Hartley up the floor. Goes into Miesemann, doesn't get that one, gets her own rebound.
Great job getting back in transition by Miesemann.
Charles left wide open on the rotation.
Yeah, but you can't lose Charles on the weak side. It was a great job to jam the paint and make Bria Hartley dribble out of traffic, but then Tina Charles got loose on that left side.
Walker Kimbrough does not go. Allen secures the rebound. And a whistle and a foul on Deladon and Sanders return. Johannes returns. Cloud returns. On the inbound, right. Johannes has it blocked by Walker Kimbrough. Deladon attacking.
There's nothing you can do about that but get back on the other side and try to score yourselves if you're New York. I mean, Deladon right at the rim, splitting the defense and finishing like that.
The double comes. Johannes. Extra one to Allen. She knocks it down.
You've got to find Allen, and you've got to get to her when the ball is in the air.
Atkins off the screen. Kicks it. Cloud. Comes back to her. Sanders. That's her sweet spot.
Yeah, great timing in that pinch post and that elbow area. Those are 2 spots on the floor that Latoya Sanders has made a living with. You know she's going to do it. You can't take her out of what she wants to do.
Charles off 1 foot. Does not go. Walker Kimbrough gets the rebound. Tries to drop it off for Sanders. Almost bobbled. Kicks it. Cloud. The mark. Sanders trying to fight for the rebound. It will stay with the Mystics. And a timeout on the floor. The Mystics with a 40-27 lead here.
Welcome back to D.C., where the Washington Mystics hold a 40-27 lead over the New York Liberty. And transition defense was at the top of the list for keys for the Washington Mystics. Emma Miesemann right here doing a tremendous job with that. 2 high hands disrupting the shot by Bria Hartley. That's exactly what you need to do in terms of being disruptive as a defender, especially in transition. Hartley had to dribble that ball back out of there. No easy shots for New York, especially on the inside. And Emma Miesemann, we've seen what she's been doing on the offensive end, but we've seen great balance, not just from Miesemann, but from the entire team. And that's just what Mike Thibault wanted to see from his squad coming off that loss on Friday, which snapped a 6-game win streak.
After the timeout, Atkins works with Sanders. Kicks it. Sanders. That's the second sweet spot.
Yep. Pinch post was the first one. She's just going around the horn. It's almost like she's at practice. Okay, you're going to go in that right corner now. You're at the right elbow, swinging around to that left elbow. I mean, that's just what she does. I mean, she has been such a key piece for the Washington Mystics. I like to say that Shatori Walker-Kimbrough is a guard Sanders. You know, that she's so long and lanky, defensively disruptive, getting in the passing lanes.
Off the inbound. Right. Trying to work with Charles. The double came from Atkins. She poked it away. Deladon controls. Walker-Kimbrough works with her. Sanders. Atkins. Pull up. Does not go. Allen with the rebound for the Liberty.
Yeah, that was a tough one. Washington never got the ball to the right side of the floor. You got to get good ball reversals, and that's something that Washington has been able to do well. They lead the league in assists for a reason.
To Allen from right. Quick trigger. Off the mark. Deladon surveying as she comes across half. Likes what she sees. Doesn't go. Zowie B with the rebound.
Yeah, but the walk-in three is something that Deladon can do well. Just missed the mark on that one.
As we talk a little trivia, and welcome in Dan Nolan as always.
Oh, thank you, Megan. Earlier in the broadcast, we mentioned the Mystics have won a WNBA record, 11 games by 20-plus points this season. Which team previously held the record, and how many games was that? I need the team and the year for this.
Whew. Well, I think I'm going to go with 2010 because I believe that Katie Smith was a member of the Mystics during that season, so I'm going to stamp 2010 on that one.
I'm going to rock with Christy on this.
Okay,
This
good.
is going to be a two-man game right here.
All right.
Sanders off the mark, couldn't get that to go. Nurse back into the game. Jumper doesn't go. Walker-Kimbrough on the defensive end might have got a piece of that one.
She got that from behind, got a whole hand on that basketball.
Deladon attacks, hangs in the air. Walker-Kimbrough keeps it alive.
I think the Mystics bench wanted some contact there, and Deladon took that shot, and Tanisha Wright tying up Shatori Walker-Kimbrough in the corner, the 14-year vet out of Penn State, doing what she does defensively, which is making things difficult. But Washington has done a lot of things to disrupt New York on the defensive end. Shatori Walker-Kimbrough swatting things for the Mystics on the defensive end.
And welcome back to Entertainment and Sports Arena. The Mystics on top 42-27. A reminder, our trivia question: which team previously held the record for the most 20-plus points games in a season? The answer is the 2000 Houston Comets. They won 9 games by 20-plus points. Again, the Mystics have 11 such games this season. By the way, the Comets went on to win their 4th straight title later that season. I think that bodes well for the Mystics, ladies.
I would not disagree with you, Dan.
Yeah, no, I love that. You know, 4-time champ Houston Comets, the likes of Tina Thompson on that squad as well. And I thought for sure when they came back showing Katie Smith that, that we won
good.
that. Oh, well. But Katie Smith was a member of the Mystics back in 2010 when they won those 22 games and went to the Eastern Conference Finals when the playoff schedule was a little different.
Travel called on the Liberty. Bria Hartley returns.
Let's take a look at that right there. Again, Washington doing a terrific job of closing off the baseline, and Tanisha Wright taking a couple of extra steps and knew it right away.
Sanders working with Walker-Kimbrough. 6 on the shot clock. And a kickball called.
Again, no ball reversal for the Mystics, staying on this left side. But it can't just be a two-player game on the left side. When you see things slowing down and things not unfolding like you want to in terms of your offensive set, you've got to take a hard cut from that weak side or do something, set a ball screen. Got to break a play to make a play sometimes.
Silver lining is with the kick ball, they get the reset to 14. So they're able to try and get that ball movement that you spoke of.
Well, pin down action here for Deladon with Miesemann.
Atkins with it. 5 on the shot clock. Pull up. Knocks it down.
Ariel Atkins, in her second season out of the University of Texas, has played with a ton of confidence this year. And Mike Thibault said she has just been the consummate pro.
Fans, the Mystics 2019 Blockout Cancer Auction is now live. Bid on game-worn breast health awareness jerseys and other items and help support the fight against breast cancer. All proceeds from the auction benefit the Capital Breast Care Center, a nonprofit organization that provides community outreach and patient navigation services to underserved women in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. For more information and to bid, visit WashingtonMystics.com now. Aerial Powers, that loud ovation was for her as she returns to the floor.
And she looks to be okay with that poke to the eye that she took earlier from Gray.
Cloud tries to drop it off for Atkins, disrupted. Liberty have a little bit of advantage. Hartley might have got away with a calming. Nonetheless, she misses the layup. Miesemann kicks it. One more. Atkins. Got it.
Swing, swing threes. That's what Washington does. That's when they're at their best, when that ball is moving and it doesn't stick after the pass, when it's boom, boom, shot.
Biggest lead of the ball game for the Mystics. Zowie B too strong. Powers. Gets caught. Zowie B controls and gets it up the floor. And Cloud doing a great job getting back defensively as she ties that up.
Again, defensive transition coming into play right here. Bria Hartley trying to make a play at the rim. Natasha Cloud negates that with two hands on the basketball, forcing a jump.
And it out of bounds. Off the jump, it will stay with the Liberty on that end of the floor.
But that's the kind of heart and hustle that carries over defensively. When you see your teammate haul it down there, make a stop like that, that gives the squad energy, whether you're on the court or not. That's a big-time play.
Hartley to Zowie B. And they're going to say Miesemann hooked. And Zowie B kind of smirks walking down the floor. I think she knows she got away with that.
Well, Amanda Zowie B is very crafty as a post player down in there, but Charles will step to the line on this one. And you know, the post play, you have a lot of different kinds of post players in this game, and it's going to be whoever can impose their will on the contest. And you can see down on the block right here, Miesemann giving Tina Charles a hug with her left hand, and you just got to let that go. If you're Miesemann, just stretch that arm out. You don't need to hold her. She was already up in the passing lane with her right hand trying to anticipate the entry pass.
Coach Thibault calling a timeout after that foul called. Tina Charles wants the timeout. She'll go back to the free throw line as we take a look at the head-to-head matchup between the matchup you're looking at this afternoon, Christy.
Yeah, I love this. And we were just discussing the differences between the post players in this contest. Tina Charles, MVP, Deladon, an MVP. And look at all their all-star awards and two-time Olympic gold medal winner, 2012 and 2016 for Charles. Deladon was on the squad in 2016 with Charles, and they're both in the pool for the 2020 team. And I just think it's really exciting to see different kinds of post players match up and what that really looks like. In the first game, Tina Charles had 27 points in that game. And then Deladon only had 13 in that contest. She was 5 for 14 from the floor, so not one of her stronger, efficient shooting evenings in New York back in June. But I just love that kind of challenge. I mean, you don't play a player that's like yourself in terms of skill set. Tina Charles also played for Mike Thibault from 2010 to 2013, so she was named MVP under his watch with the Connecticut Sun.
4 seconds. Atkins. 2 seconds. 1 second. Lets it fly. Almost went
By Washington now.
And the Liberty looking at a 16-point deficit, but if we know Coach Smith, the way she played is the way she coaches. And a quick whistle and a foul on Latoya Sanders. They're going to try and come out and punch first.
Yeah, and you know, Katie Smith, 3-time gold medalist, just an amazing player in the league, and she wants her team to play hard. She said, we're playing hard, we're playing tough. We just have to execute and close out games. They have not had good starts at the beginning of third quarters as of late, and she did mention that as well, so she's looking for improvement in that area.
Double rotation there as Cloud comes away with the steal. Powers working with Sanders. A whistle and a foul. And what I do like with Powers back in the game is the fact that that first half, she's not letting that poke to the eye stop her from attacking.
Right. Oh, she's ready to go. She put some Visine in that thing, and she's ready to go. She is still in attack mode, and I think that makes a big difference for how Washington plays on the offensive side. You have to have the aggressive play.
Powers, that time wasn't aware of the shot clock.
Well, Eric Thibault said, you know, we were over-dribbling, and I think 2 extra dribbles there on the baseline by Powers kind of reiterated that fact. You have to know the shot clock. You have to understand that you got to get the shot up and not take that extra dribble instead.
Charles on the attack to help defense. Cam Sanders got a block from behind.
And there she is on the defensive end. We saw her soft touch on the offensive side, but Latoya Sanders right here, typed up by Charles, deleted by Latoya Sanders with those long arms on defense.
So the Liberty on the sideline.
The last time these two teams met, it was a 1-point game at the half and a 4-point game going into the fourth, so it was close. So New York trying to chip away by doing some attacking of their own. We said that Washington had a 20-8 advantage in paint points at the half, and now the first couple of plays by New York, they have put their shoulder down and try to make their way to the basket.
Talking with official Billy Smith. Tried to implore the scorer's table to get a replay on the big screen.
Let's see the ball movement and off-ball movement for the Washington Mystics, how they start this second half here.
Not a bad way to start with Deladon knocking down the jumper.
This move a couple times in that second quarter, players with the ball were like saying, take a cut.
Around the horn, Zowie B. They go inside to Charles. How she collected that in traffic, I don't know.
That's why she's one of the best to ever play in the WNBA. Just a crowd all around her, and she was unfazed. That's what the best players do. No matter what you do to disrupt them, they're right there in their comfort zone.
4 seconds. Powers lost the handle on that. Loose ball on the ground and a shot clock violation again. So that's 2 now offensive sets where the Mystics have been out of sorts.
Well, when you swing it, you don't always have to get the jump shot. You can swing it to drive, especially when you're at the elbow areas, when you have that defense committed to the ball. Then there are going to be better openings on the baseline.
Charles inside again.
New York making a play and getting things done in the paint.
Sanders. Atkins. Harassed by Hartley off the screen to Deladon. 6 on the shot clock. Deladon somehow manages to get that to go. She's imploring a call. Wanted a whistle on that.
Yeah, she was saying and one after that one. There was some contact made.
Atkins up on her feet. Nurse off the mark on that shot. Deladon attacking again. This time the whistle's blown.
Take a look at Elena Deladon on the last bucket. There's Ariel Atkins right there, finding her on the cut. She was thinking that she got some contact by Zowie B there on the roll.
Deladon gets the first. Not sure if she didn't like her follow through on that. She reflicked the wrist.
Yeah, it looked like that shot was short, that first one. That one nice and clean by Elena Deladon.
Hartley trying to work with Charles. Cloud got a piece of that pass. Sanders was doing a good job not giving a good angle.
Yeah, she was on that high side of Tina Charles inside, but you have to give credit to the ball pressure. Sometimes it's not just the post defender who's responsible for post defense. It's the person who's playing on the ball. Don't let it come in there easily.
Cross court, Nurse off the mark. Deladon with the rebound. Deladon off the pickup, knocks it down.
Lethal. She is just insanely good from range.
Nurse, a little pump fake. Too strong. Cloud up the floor. Drops it off. Deladon to Powers. Got it. And Katie Smith on a timeout. The Mystics with a 22-point lead here early on in the third.
Well, you know it's dangerous when it starts raining threes in D.C. That's what they do. 3DD knocking down one, and then Aerial Powers, powerful, with another triple for the Mystics. Welcome back to D.C., where the Washington Mystics hold a 59-37 lead over the New York Liberty. Take a look down here on the block. There's Tina Charles. She's being single covered defensively. But when the ball moves, it's going to get to her, and the double team is going to come. Right here, freezing. The double team is right there. She's in a crowded space. Shouldn't you kick that out if you're a post player? But Tina Charles is not a common post player. She is one of the best to ever play in the league. So you can bring the entire squad by way of Tina Charles, and she will stay calm, cool, and collected and make plays for her team. She is just tremendous in terms of making great reads, Megan, on the offensive end. She's 7 of 12 for 16 points this afternoon.
I've always been a fan of watching her on TV at home. As I told you at the season opener and home opener here, I've followed the W for so many years, but it was my first game in person, and now to see her translate what we see on TV to the floor in person, I'm in awe.
Yeah, she's just tremendous. I mean, 2 undefeated NCAA championships at UConn. She played alongside Maya Moore back in the day. I mean, she is just one of the most special players. And her Hopi's Heart Foundation is something that she holds true as well in the New York area. So it's more than basketball in a lot of ways. And I love the human interest stories of the players and who they are as people. We know them statistically, but who are they as young women? And Tina Charles just holds the torch for so many, and not just because she plays in New York.
A foul called, which is why Mystics went to the sideline. Here's Sanders. Doesn't go. The foul was on Tanisha Wright. Here's Allen. Quick release, does not go. Sanders with the rebound. Deladon. Powers. They go down low. 10 on the shot clock. Cloud left open. Off the mark. Sanders fights to keep it alive, and she's tripped up. A whistle and a foul.
But you have to give LaToya Sanders the gold star for being probably one of the most unappreciated, least talked about players in the league this year. She just does so many great things by making extra effort plays like this one. She puts her body in the way and gets to the ball. And you have to award someone like that. You know, you have to tell them, keep going. That's the engine.
Deladon with the offensive board. Reset to 14. She's got it with 10. Gets that to fall.
That turnaround jump shot at 6'5" is just unstoppable.
Hartley goes behind the back and scoops that up.
Bria Hartley with some and one mixtape sauce on that one. Splitting the defense and put on the brakes just enough to get it over the front of the rim. That was a pretty play by Hartley.
And it snapped a 12-0 run over the last 3 minutes. And then Powers answers back.
She just brings so much energy to the table for this Washington Mystics squad. Picked up halfway through the season last year in a trade with the Dallas Wings for Taylor Hill.
Johannes. Cloud. Pull-up jumper. Left that short. Charles with the rebound. Nurse now controls.
Well, Coach Tebow didn't like how they covered that action. Wanted them to be up on the ball. And we were talking about the importance of ball pressure. It's not just who they're throwing it to.
Here's Allen. She got that off 1 foot. That's a tough bucket.
From Australia, she has just been a reliable offensive weapon for New York this year. She played netball and was a professional at 16 years old in Australia.
Powers fouled on that drive.
I like the fact that Washington, in spite of the score being what it is staying in attack mode on the offensive side and trying to get themselves into the lane to score again.
Your Mystics were the first team to clinch a spot in the 2019 WNBA playoffs. It's your turn to secure your spot with access to a playoff ticket presale. Beginning September 4th, place a non-refundable $100 deposit for a 2020 Club 52 membership and receive early access to the Mystics 2019 WNBA playoff ticket information prior to the general public. For more information, visit WashingtonMystics.com or call 877-DC-HOOP-1 today.
The Washington Mystics still vying heavily for one of those top 2 spots so they can receive that double bye headed into the playoffs. And, this playoff season is going to be absolutely fantastic.
Also, if you can get that top spot, you not only get that double bye, you also get home court, which would be fantastic when you think about the crowd here at ESA. And if the regular season so far has been any indication, the playoffs are going to be just as good.
Yeah, it was amazing last year when the Mystics made a run to the finals.
Walker Kimbrough knocks down the three.
Now, Coach Tebow has said that Shatori Walker-Kimbrough is the X factor for this squad. I mean, she's made leaps and bounds in terms of her execution and skill this year for Washington.
Rashonda Gray left that layup short. It was great attack from her. Here's Deladon. Double Kamisaman, but she left that short. Not typical you see the Emma and Elena two-man game.
Well, I like it. I like it. And Elena Deladon, Mike Tebow has said she has become a better playmaker and passer out of double teams and such. And that was a great look there to Kamisaman as Shatori Walker-Kimbrough goes down hard.
Gray whistled for the foul, helps up Walker Kimbrough. Tiana Hawkins, a.k.a. Brianna Hawkins.
We'll take a look right here. The shot off the mark. Shatori Walker-Kimbrough making her way inside and running into Gray. Seen Shatori Walker-Kimbrough on the floor a lot this afternoon for the Mystics, but that's the grit. That's why the Mystics have the lead that they do. It's the extra effort plays by not one or two players, but across the board. And that's what makes this Washington Mystics team so dynamic and impressive.
Hawkins checks in. Deladon checks out.
We've talked about the numbers for Elena Deladon without the mask and with the mask. And the last time these two teams met, she had those 13 points on 5 of 14 shooting. That was prior to the mask.
Pre-mask.
Pre-mask. but with that mask on, she has just been phenomenal.
Nurse inside to Gray. Attacking. Hawkins got the block, but they're going to say body. Or they're going to say got her on the arm, excuse me. And it looked clean.
And Tiana Hawkins begs to differ right here, squaring up Gray. She broke the plane a bit. And what Tiana Hawkins probably could have done, waited for Gray to release it and then pop it away. I think the foul was called because it was still in the hands of Gray. But when you break the principle of verticality, you're at the mercy of the official. So just wait. Wait one beat and then get up and try your best to block it.
Gray splits them. Cloud losing her feet, gets up. Hawkins knocks it down.
Well, that was a surgical offensive play there by the Washington Mystics. We were talking about how the ball needed to move, and that's what Washington has done in this third quarter.
Nurse to Gray. Gets it back from her. As she answers with a three.
Yeah, Kia Nurse, one of the most efficient players for New York in her second season out of UConn. And she played in Australia. Megan said that she got used to coming off those double stagger screens and those pin down actions as the ball goes out of bounds and stays with the Mystics. And she said that has really helped her this season on the offensive side, making good reads. And you have a relationship. You've known the Nurse family back in Canada.
Yes. Yeah, I grew up with her older sister Tamika, so I've seen Kia since she was, I'm not going to embarrass her, but she was very, very, very young and wasn't talking yet. To now, the professional that she is today. And it's been a fun ride to watch her over the years. And older brother Darnell, she's the youngest of three. Older brother Darnell plays for the Edmonton Oilers in the NHL, and seeing him learn to skate too, pretty fun.
That's awesome. Well, I love the stories. I love the connections. Kia Nurse, a bright future, no doubt, in the WNBA moving forward.
And Mestog into the game, turns it over there, gets back defensively. Nurse around Hawkins, left that short, and then Gray and Hawkins tie it up, and they're going to get a jump ball.
Shonda Gray out of Cal. She has been known to be the junkyard dog. Right here, she just gets in there, gets that ball, and is trying to rip it out of there as the jump ball is called. She is just a fierce physical presence inside for New York.
And during pregame warm-up, she was out of the floor with the post, and whatever she did, she liked it because she yelled for about six straight seconds.
Yes.
Just rang through the arena. Hawkins got it.
Another one. Washington has been lighting it up from three, especially in this third quarter.
Liberty winding down the clock. Tries to find it. Mestog is there. 2 seconds up the floor. Walker Kimbrough. Left that short, trying to get rid of it at the end of the buzzer. The Mystics, after three, lead it 76-47.
Well, the Washington Mystics made 4 threes in the first half, but in the third quarter alone, they have been letting it fly from range. They have made 5 threes from kickouts, from walk-in transitional threes, and swing threes, my favorite. In transition, you've got to find the ball or the Mystics will make you pay from range. 76-47, it has been a block party for the Washington Mystics. They have 7 blocks so far in this game. They have been paying close attention to the details on the defensive end. And it has been most impressive, especially to Mike Thibault, who said that was going to be at the top of the list for his team. The execution on the defensive end, especially in transition. We saw stops on the defensive end in transition with block shots, but to have 7 for Washington, they're in the top 5 with block shots on the year, but today to have 7 blocks going into the fourth quarter, that's very impressive to say the least for where Washington wants to go moving forward as they head into the playoffs.
A bench mob unit on to start the fourth for the Mystics, and Emma Mieseman keeps things rolling.
Just filthy. That step back is just so soft.
Boyd in the paint, kept it alive as Brittany Boyd will head to the free throw line.
Well, a couple of weeks ago, New York was talking about their point guard and who would be their point guard, and I spoke with Katie Smith prior to the game, and she said, well, Tanisha Wright is our mainstay because of her experience level. She's in her 14th season. She just knows how to execute. She understands why things need to happen. Bria Hartley has done a tremendous job. But Brittany Boyd has come in as the third leg for them at that point guard position, and she's still learning, and she has been a sponge in terms of getting things under her belt, if you will, in terms of what's expected regarding execution on the offensive side.
And keep in mind, you've got Asia Durr over on the bench, not playing with the groin injury, but that's another one who can play a little bit of the point guard role. Hawkins, Mieseman, spins. Beautiful move.
Just wow. Emma Mieseman. Stay determined when you get the ball. Be confident. I mean, that's some pretty basketball so far here from Emma Mieseman.
Johannes with the rebound off her miss. They go inside to Gray. Mieseman controls the loose ball.
Another great defensive stop by the Washington Mystics. Great communication there for the rotations.
Mestog. Hawkins. Hetty. 4 on the clock. Hawkins, too strong. Allen with the rebound for the Liberty. Nurse. He's met by Hawkins and the offensive foul.
Well, we see that the score is 80-49, but it has been the defensive presence of mind by Washington all afternoon. Tiana Hawkins setting herself up outside of the restricted area, squaring her body to the ball handler and taking full-on contact for the charge. That's what it's all about. When teams get more excited about charges being taken than shots being made one-on-one, that's when you know you have a good thing. Washington right now has a good thing going.
Hines Allen checks into the ball game for the first time this afternoon. And a little miscommunication between her and Miesemann. Nurse, a little hesitation, gets right to the hoop. Left that short. Hawkins controls the glass. They've got a 5-on-4. Hawkins running point. Kicks it. Mestog almost got that to fall.
Kim Mestog, a teammate of Emma Miesemann on that Belgium national team. Her dad, Phil, was the head coach.
Nurse connects from long range.
Kim Mestog and Emma Miesemann have great chemistry, obviously, because of their experience with the Belgium national team, but they've known each other since preschool. They live right down the block from each other in Belgium.
Hines Allen, a strong pace.
That's just a big body finish inside by Maisha Hines Allen. Strong and effective.
Allen, the step back doesn't go. Hines Allen with the rebound up the floor. Gets Miesemann in transition. The kick. Petty. Got it.
Balance everywhere for the Washington Mystics. All 5 spots. They can score within their skill sets across the board. And that's what has made them one of the top teams in the league right now, sitting right behind Connecticut.
Christy Tolliver may be out of the game, but we got ourselves a new point guard. Maisha Hines Allen, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. We like to share the ball here, Christy.
Hey, sharing is caring. The point forward. Maisha Hines Allen finding Shea Petty for the finish. And that's what it's all about. Great teamwork.
As we check out the Nabisco fan cam here at ESA this afternoon. Another really great crowd on hand in Southeast DC.
I just love the fact that these fans have come out in droves. Doesn't matter if it's raining outside, whether it's 100 degrees outside. School starts tomorrow. My kids here. Like, everybody is in support of this team and what it stands for on and off the court. Together DC is the hashtag, and we have seen that throughout this season, Megan, and it has been tremendous.
Petty got hit with a screen. Nurse off the 3 as she knocks it down. Han Shu into the game for the Liberty, getting her first minutes this afternoon.
Yeah, she is the 14th overall pick out of China. She is only 19 years old, stands 6'9". She's the youngest player this season in the WNBA, the second tallest in the history of the league, behind Margot Didak, who has since passed. And Coach Tebow coached her while she was a player for the Connecticut Sun.
Raincock Akunwe back into the ball game. Boyd off the mark. Miesemann with the rebound. Finds Petty up the floor in transition for the layup.
Shea Petty has made the most of her second consecutive 7-day contract with the Washington Mystics. Get in there and produce.
Raincock Akunwe off the mark. Hawkins. Petty. Hines Allen powers her way to the hoop, misses. Shu with the rebound. Here's Nurse. Works with fellow Canadian. Six on the shot clock. Raincock Akunwe gets that to fall.
Nice touch for Raincock Akunwe up top for New York. And they have depth on the interior. They can move players around a little bit. Katie Smith knows that. Different looks, especially in their post position.
Inside, Hawkins drops that in.
Just continue to execute. That's what the Mystics coaches want to see at this juncture. Can you stay focused and finish the game strong?
Eason up the floor. Here's Hines Allen. Drops it back to her. A little miscommunication.
Yeah, I think Maisha Hines Allen was just trying to get out of the way there. And Emma Miesemann misread her movement off the ball.
Walker Kimbrough returns. Miesemann goes out. So, with the exception of Hawkins, a smaller lineup. Johannes off the mark. Hawkins drops it in.
The Turk-to-Turk connection. Shatori Walker Kimbrough there to Tiana Hawkins with a sweet finish right in front of the rim.
Here's Chu. Doesn't get the bounce. Hawkins trying to fight for the rebound. It will stay with the Liberty.
But when you take purposeful cuts off the ball will find you right where you need to have it. And right there, a pinpoint pass by Shatori Walker Kimbrough to Hawkins.
Nurse off the inbound. Coaches might want to clip that replay of Hawkins doing a perfect rim run and stealing. Here she is. Kicks it. Walker Kimbrough off the mark. Ring Kakapunwe with the rebound. And Nurse connects from long range.
Yeah, Nurse has been consistently effective for New York. They're still trying to fight for a playoff spot. Only 3 spots left. 5 teams have clinched playoff berths so far in the WNBA. Now we just have to wait for the order of seeding, and that is going to be most intriguing to say the least.
We may see that get decided on the final day of the regular season. Hawkins off the pump fake. The floater doesn't go. Trying to fight for the rebound. Here's Hartley. She's back into the ballgame. Step back jumper. Hartley knocks it down.
Just a tough made shot there for Bria Hartley, who played Eurobasket in France. So she missed some time this season as well.
Petty lost the handle, but her and Hartley tie it up on that back cut. The whistle and the timeout on the floor. The Mystics lead it 93-64. Cloud's back-to-school supply drive benefiting Henley Elementary will continue Friday, September 6th, when we take on the Dallas Wings at 7 p.m. Supplies will be collected throughout the game outside Section 108. Items in need include pencils, black and white composition books, and copy paper. Visit WashingtonMystics.com and look for Back-to-School Drive under Community tab to learn more. Natasha and the Washington Mystics, thank you for your support.
Oh, wow, Natasha Cloud has done so many great things here in D.C. in the community. She has a voice at the table, and I love that bold spirit. And to start the school year and really have that kind of impression on the youth in this area, it's going to start them off in the right way. I mean, you want your kids to go to school and have that confidence and knowing that people like Natasha Cloud and the Washington Mystics and Monumental basketball as a whole have their back, and they understand them, and they want the best for them in all walks of life, not just athletically.
And today was the first as Kim Metzog, and with that shot, all Mystics players have scored in this ballgame.
Not every team can say that, but Washington, with their incredible depth, are able to say that every single player on the roster has scored a bucket today.
Here's Shoot. Too strong. Raincock Kokunwe with the rebound. And a little congratulations, Latoya Sanders. Her last block earlier in this game, she eclipsed the 200 mark for her career.
Fantastic. Not surprised, though.
No. And Maisha Hines-Allen gets that jumper to fall.
Well, she has increased her range this season. We saw her hit a three a couple games ago. And that one was about 15, 16 feet out.
Hartley, as she's tripped up.
And Tiana Hawkins was trying to get that right foot to the baseline to cut Bria Hartley off, but maybe she could just give that up to the next line of defense that's rotating over from the weak side instead of trying to make contact in an effort to beat her to that baseline.
Hartley off the screen. Gets it inside. Raincock Kokunwe the kick. Hartley lets it fly. She connects.
Now Hartley has just been very consistent for New York. Just under 12 points a game in her last 6.
Why not? Nurse. Off the handoff, taken away, but she collects and runs into Petty, and they're going to get an offensive foul called.
That's the second charge that was taken this afternoon by the Washington Mystics. Defense wins games. Put yourself in good position. Legal guarding area. Shea Petty taking the hit. And it means everything for her to be out on the court. She was in the training camp for the Washington Mystics and was released right before the season began.
Hines-Allen, too strong. Hawkins drops it off. Walker Kimbrough couldn't get that to fall. Here's Hartley. Finds Nurse. And that's 6, and that's a new career high for three-pointers made by Kia Nurse.
And New York has come into this game 10th in the league in threes as a team, 33%. As Shea Petty threw that to an unaware Shatori Walker-Kimbrough in the corner. Was she speaking to a fan over there? Actually, was not focused on the ball coming in. And then Han Shu threw it to herself. And
little miscommunication with Hartley.
Yeah. And both teams kind of getting a little fuzzy. Just 24.6 to go. And this one, that's what I was saying. Can you sustain it? That's the challenge. Regardless of the score, can you stay locked in?
Pax is locked in.
Yeah, he sure is. He's lounging over there.
And the Mystics not going to take one here. They're going to dribble out the shot clock, which is almost identical to the game clock. And Coach Smith and Coach Tebow come together. And there's 0.3 left on the game clock. The coach is all just standing here looking at the officials. We're good. And the Mystics, after having their 6-game streak